-5. Not even freezing, just winter as usual. You stand at the bus stop in a jacket that you once told yourself was good enough, and look at your phone. The bus has been missing for 20 minutes. You are not thinking about death. You are thinking that your battery is at 8%. Your phone, by the way, honestly warned you that it was going into power-saving mode. Your body did the same thing about 5 minutes ago, without notification. It has already chosen who to sacrifice first. It has already shut down your fingers, and you just blamed it on, well, it is cold. And it has already started making decisions for you, bad ones, confident ones. We will go through the entire timeline minute by minute, from the first shiver to the moment when you take off your jacket because you feel unbearably hot. Yes, you read that right. You take it off, in the freezing cold, yourself, with your own hands. This is not a pretty invention. This is how approximately every fourth case of death from hypothermia ends. And what you do right after that is even stranger. Freezing to death is actually the only death that disguises itself as comfort. It does not beat you, choke you, or burn you. It sits down next to you and offers you a rest. All other ways to die at least honestly introduce themselves at the door. This one comes in saying, come on, just 5 more minutes. It is better to treat what will happen to everyone sooner or later with humor. Otherwise, there are not many options. Minute 1. Your skin sends one word upstairs, cold. And your brain, without consulting anyone, announces layoffs. The blood vessels in your fingers, hands, and feet constrict, and blood retreats from the outskirts to the core. Your hands and feet have just been laid off. The notification will arrive in about 10 minutes, in the form of, why can't I unzip my jacket? And indeed, you cannot. The first thing to fail you is not your will but your fine motor skills. Unzipping becomes an Olympic sport. The key misses the lock on the 4th try. You just leave the shoelace as it is. Yet your fingers look completely normal. They are in place. They are intact. They are a warm color. They just do not work for you anymore. And if you are not at a bus stop, but have fallen through the ice, your body has a special trick prepared. The first thing it does in freezing water is inhale. A massive reflex gasp that you did not ask for and cannot cancel. Your lungs take in a full breath at the exact second your head is most likely underwater. Perfect timing. But the fingers are just a warm-up. Now your body will turn on what it sincerely believes is its main weapon, and shoot itself in the foot with it. You start to shiver. Shivering is not weakness or nerves. It is your emergency generator. Your muscles contract rapidly and pointlessly just to generate heat. It works surprisingly well. A shivering body warms itself several times more than a still one. One catch. The generator runs on you. You are the diesel. 1 hour, maybe 2. That is how long this reserve burns if you are dry and standing still. Get wet, divide it by 2. Wind, divide it again. Nature is generous with discounts. By the way, about the hat, you have probably heard that you lose almost 90% of your heat through your head. That is not true, just basic surface area math. The head loses about as much as any other exposed part of you. It is just that in winter, it is usually the only part left uncovered. And this is usually where alcohol enters the picture. You have a drink, you feel warm, your cheeks burn, and life gets better. In reality, your peripheral blood vessels have dilated and pushed all your internal heat outward, into the cold, with great enthusiasm. The feeling of warmth is there, the warmth is not. For centuries, it was believed that a shot of alcohol saves a freezing person. It really does solve the problem, just not yours. At the same time, it dampens your shivering and shuts down your ability to notice that something is going wrong. The frost is pleased. And then the shivering stops on its own. And you feel relief for the first time in an hour. This is the worst good news of your life. When your core cools down to about 32 degrees, the generator stalls. Not because it got warmer, because your muscles have squeezed out everything they had, the enzymes can barely move, and the mechanism is dead. After that, you cool down without resistance, like an apartment where the heating was turned off and everyone left. And right about then, the only part you were truly relying on breaks down. Your brain cools down too. Your neurons transmit signals slower, and your decisions begin to quietly fall apart. Not suddenly, not noticeably. Just a little worse, then a little worse still. Here is the catch. The organ that is supposed to notice things are going bad is the very organ that is currently cooling down. You assess the state of your brain with your own brain. The inspector and the inspected are one and the same, and both are already freezing. So by the third hour, you take off your gloves to make things easier. You step off the trail because it is shorter that way. You lose your hat and do not even notice it is gone. You sit down in the snow because the snow suddenly seems like a great idea. And anyway, you are just going to stop for a minute. None of these decisions feel foolish from the inside. Each one feels reasonable. That is exactly why it works. But from the outside, you look drunk. Your speech is slurred, your walk is unsteady, your gaze is blank. People look away and walk on by. They are sure they have you figured out. And your body will make its next decision without any witnesses. All this time, your blood vessels have kept the periphery constricted. But this is the work of muscles in the vessel walls. And muscles get tired. All of them. Always. Without exception. And at some point, they relax. All the warm blood from the core rushes under your skin all at once. And you feel hot. Real, burning, unbearable heat at -5, standing in the snow. Your body gives you information one last time. Detailed, confident, and completely inverted. And you do the only thing that seems logical. You undress. Jacket, sweater, everything else. About a quarter of those who die of cold are found undressed, not because someone attacked them, but because they felt too hot. Those who find such a scene are usually frightened by something other than the frost. Scattered clothes, no signs of a struggle, a person not where they are supposed to be. The first thought is almost always that someone was here. There was only the cold, and it did not touch anything with its hands. And then you stop walking and start to crawl. You look for a gap. Under the bed, behind the wardrobe, under the bottom shelf, between the rocks. The tightest and darkest place you can reach. Your clothes are left lying in a trail behind you. By this point, your cerebral cortex is barely participating in the conversation, but the ancient brainstem is participating very actively, and it does exactly what any small animal does when winter comes. It looks for a burrow. You have no fat, no fur, no physiology for hibernation. The instruction is carried out anyway, fully, carefully, down to the very last point. You are the only animal on the planet that knows how to build houses with radiators. And at the last minute, you will still crawl under the wardrobe. And here is the strange thing. Sometimes it works. A Swedish skier was pulled from under the ice after 80 minutes. No pulse, no breathing, 13.7 degrees. They warmed her up, and her heart started again. She is alive today. We built cities, radiators, thermal underwear, and apps that tell us in advance what to wear. We pushed winter outside the window and agreed to treat it as scenery. But inside you sits a beast that has no idea about any of this, and when it gets truly cold, it takes the wheel. It shuts down your hands. It lies to you about the heat. It tucks you into the gap under the wardrobe. And it hasn't gone mad. It is betting that sometimes, very rarely, spring comes and it all ends well. It is not trying to kill you. It prepares a burrow and lies down to wait. It just knows how to wait longer than you. And when they find you, your jacket will be lying nearby, along with a phone with 8% battery, which was never needed. Have you ever caught yourself making a decision that seemed absolutely normal at the time and became madness an hour later?